Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. After entering the world of Jin, Luo Feng was particularly curious about true gods of void space. They were at a higher level than true gods. He tried to get as much information about them as possible. Based on the comprehensive information about true gods from Duandong River Inheritance and the information he had received from his conversations with Northern Wind and Wu He knew that true gods had miniature universes, and their orders, once given, would be strictly enforced. However, that could only be achieved in Universe Ocean and the original universe, and it couldn't be achieved in the world of Jin. The so-called strictly enforced orders were a form of respect shown by the original universe. They gave a particular area to true gods for them to control. That was how true gods did things. However, when the original mind chose not to back down, as when true gods were fighting universe masters, the original mind would stand with universe masters. Then true gods couldn't do it anymore. Apparently, making their orders strictly enforced wasn't an ability that true gods gained after fully comprehending laws. Instead, it was a gift like having multiple bodies and other inherited techniques given by the original universe. If the original universe wanted it back, they wouldn't be able to do it anymore. However, there was a huge gap between true gods and true gods of void space. Once someone became a true god of void space, they would have a much deeper understanding of the universe, and based on their law comprehension, they would be able to control a void space completely. It wasn't a gift. Rather, it was total control. Even the original mind couldn't strip someone of abilities they gained by themselves. True gods of void space. With a single thought, the void space was formed. In that vast void space, true gods of void space could display incredible power. True gods couldn't use their abilities to slaughter universe masters, yet true gods of void space could use one thought to form a void space to slaughter true gods and universe masters. That was the difference between abilities bestowed by the original mind and those comprehended by oneself. With the power of forming a void space with a single thought, any true god of void space could be an overlord of an area in the world of Jin. The entire Nine Smoke Marsh was blocked from the outside, as a void space surrounded the entire marsh. Morans from Xian Yu Mountain, you dare to cross us again? A clear voice that sounded like flowing water echoed in Nine Smoke Marsh. It sounded like it could penetrate one's mind. All of a sudden, the power contained in the void space around Nine Smoke Marsh seemed to be multiplied as if two void spaces were fighting for control. Lots of strange beasts rushed out of Nine Smoke Marsh, and the strange beasts were all roaring. In front of those thousands of true god strange beasts were three larger beings. The middle one had green scales, a tentacled body, and 9 heads. They all looked breathtaking. She was Nine Smoke, the ancient being who ruled Nine Smoke Marsh. Nine Smoke Marsh was named after her. After the true gods rushed out, led by those 3 true gods of void space, law universes surged to the sky. In the grass, Luo Feng and Wu He looked up and saw the 2 armies standing against each other. Nine Smoke is a very powerful true god of void space. Wu He transmitted his voice. Nine Smoke Marsh is famous for her. Even my father appreciates her power. However, she has a strange temperament. Nobody can satisfy her, which is why those powerful true gods of void space don't want to be with her. Luo Feng transmitted his voice. But Nine Smoke Marsh has 3 true gods of void space. That's because, Wu He smiled oddly. The other 2 true gods of void space were chased by their enemies, and they didn't have anywhere else to go except to stay with Nine Smoke. My father said he could easily kill the other 2 true gods of void space. Luo Feng was dazed. Could there really be such a large power gap between true gods of void space? It sounded about right. He was a universe master, and if he took a long enough time, he could kill a true god. As for other universe masters, if he utilized all his power, he could kill them with one move. Among those true gods of void space, even if the gap wasn't that large, it was still possible for one true god of void space to suppress another. Wu He, Luo Feng said, transmitting his voice. I heard that all the major tribal powers and strange beast powers all led by true gods of void space, but I haven't heard of anyone stronger than a true god of void space. Is there anyone more powerful? Although he didn't know the levels above true gods, based on Duandong River, the ultimate goal of the law path was to control the chaos law, yet that wasn't the end. The three ancestral teachers from Duandong River were above the chaos laws. As for true gods of void space, they hadn't even manipulated chaos laws yet. Tribal powers, strange beast powers. No matter how powerful they are led by true gods of void space, said Wu He. As for those more powerful, there are. Luo Feng listened carefully to what Wu He was about to say. The supreme leader of the East Army, he said. The general of the Easy Army, the general. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The military is the most powerful organization in the world of Jin. There are East Army, North Army, South Army, and West Army. The four generals who lead the four armies are the supreme beings in the world of Jin. Rumor has it that they've already surpassed true gods of void space and reached a higher level. What level is that? Asked Luo Feng. I don't know. Wu He shook his head. My father didn't tell me. Luo Feng was confused. Why are you looking at me like that? Wu He asked, irritated. If you really want to know, you can earn military credits and trade them with the information in the military. Wu He was displeased. Although he was a child of the northern true ocean, he was actually the weakest child, so his father always neglected him. Just when Luo Feng and Wu He were transmitting their voices to communicate with each other and were looking up, the negotiation between the supreme leaders of Nine Smoke Marsh and Xianyu Mountain didn't go well at all. Nine Smoke, you're being too reckless. You don't want to share anything with us? Do you really think four true gods of void space of Xianyu Mountain can't rival you alone? You want to share something? Be my sidekicks. Then I'll happily give some to you. Ah, you're asking for your own death. Warriors from Xianyu Mountain punish that goddamn bastard from Nine Smoke Marsh. Following a furious roar, the two teams started to engage in battle. Soldiers fought soldiers, and leaders fought leaders. Both teams charged at each other swiftly. Luo Feng looked up. It was as if the clouds from both sides immediately crashed into each other and merged. It has begun, said Wu He, exhilarated. It has begun, Luo Feng said. He held his breath. There were many variables in war, and it was difficult to predict which side would win. Even though true gods of void space could influence the situation to a large extent, their soldiers were more influential. Quantity sometimes made up for quality. Law masters were weaker than true gods, but 10,000 law masters performing their combined techniques could defeat any true god. Similarly, true gods were weaker than true gods of void space, but 1,000 true gods could rival a true god of void space. And if a machine-type valuable was involved, such as Ju Xiu, 100 true gods could wield the power of thousands or even 10,000 true gods, and they had a stronger defense and were more flexible. 100 true gods using Ju Xiu could certainly rival a powerful true god of void space. As for those weaker true gods of void space, they might be killed. In a true, major war, true gods could play a very important role if they were equipped with machine-type valuables, like Jin Luo Sky and Land, which required at least 1 million true gods to operate. It could kill a whole group of true gods of void space at once. The world of Jin was ruled by His Majesty the Godly King, so some machine-type valuables that needed a group to operate were forbidden to use, not to mention Jin Luo Sky and Land. Even Ju Xiu wasn't owned by any tribal or strange beast powers. Kill. 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 In the Darkland, the two powers were fighting each other, and law masters were the ones who died first. Lots of godly bodies were quickly consumed, and under some terrifying combined attacks, some law masters were killed instantly while their weapons and armors dropped. Weapons and armors. Universe masters in the distance kept dying, and their weapons and armors kept falling. This excited Wu He. These are all worth military credits. Wu He's eyes gleamed. He gazed at the falling weapons and armors, then looked at Luo Feng. Milky Way, hurry up. Those weapons and armors are not precious at all. Few of them will be gathered up by the warriors, and others will be neglected. We can totally certainly a great many weapons and armors. We might get 10,000 military credit. Then we can finish our task and survive. Bodies of true gods and weapons of law masters were the requisites for proof. Even if Wu He didn't kill the law master, as long as one died and he retrieved the weapons, the military points could still be counted as his. In some ways, it encouraged mutual killings. Luo Feng shook his head. There are only 10,000 law masters from Nine Smoke Marsh who participated. It's unrealistic for you to collect 10,000 weapons and armors. If we can collect the bodies of true gods, we can finish the task immediately. Wu He was anxious as he gazed at the falling weapons and armors. He appeared both worried and furious. Milky Way, you. How powerful do you think you are? True gods are important great beings to all powers. If a true god dies, someone will be responsible for collecting their body. You won't stand a chance of getting them. As for fighting them, do you really think you're strong enough to meddle in a fight like this? You're being suicidal. Luo Feng lightly shook his head. You are a fool. Wu He was truly anxious. Back when he first entered the army selections, seeing how Luo Feng could defeat him, and also seeing that they were the only two who made it to become new recruits, he had decided to follow Luo Feng's lead. Based on his experience, he was only showing his weakness to Luo Feng for the time being. When they met with dangers, thanks to Wu He's life-saving means, Luo Feng would be the first to die. The only thing that fell outside of his expectations was the extent of Luo Feng's craziness. He dared not continue following Luo Feng in his crazy courses of action. If they went on taking such risks, Luo Feng would be heading to his doom, and he, Wu He, would likely be unable to escape unscathed from this true god-level melee. Wu He shouted angrily, "You don't even know what a disaster-level mission really means. If that is the case, you shall fight for your life, and I shall fight for mine. I will not be your companion anymore." Wu He left very quickly and quietly as he sped toward the battlefield where the melee was taking place. Luo Feng looked at Wu He's departing figure and let out a sigh. His only companion since joining the army had left him. He never truly trusted me wholeheartedly, anyway. Luo Feng shook his head and continued to stay hidden among the grass as he observed the great melee happening in the sky high above. After watching for a long time, he started to take action. There were 3 main battlefields in the whole of Nine Smoke Marsh. They were, namely, the main battlefield, which involved the greatest number of law masters and was always the most chaotic one, the True God level battlefield, which had more than 10,000 true gods, and the Void Space battlefield, which was occupied by the 6 true gods of Void Space. Among these 3 main battlefields, the battlefield of the law masters occupied the largest area and was quite scattered. In the sky and deep within the marshes, there were law masters fighting everywhere. The true gods might only occupy the sky and the marshes, but still, there were battles occurring everywhere. But for the true gods, their battles were mainly congregated in the Purple Vine Marsh region of the Nine Smoke Marsh. After all, the total number of true gods was not that big. The region of Purple Vine Marsh was big enough for their battles, and this region was unanimously avoided by all law masters. No one dared to go near. After all, being caught in a true god melee was the easiest way to lose one's life. A true god-level battlefield. Luo Feng was advancing most discreetly, at a tremendously rapid speed, toward the true god-level battlefield. Along the way, he had encountered 3 frays, which all involved law masters from Nine Smoke Marsh. The moment they saw Luo Feng, they ascertained that he was a tribal warrior of Xianyu Mountain. Luo Feng had set his mind on arriving at the true god-level battlefield as soon as he could, so he was not interested in purposefully bullying any of the law masters. However, the other parties were so insistent in meeting the tip of his blade that Luo Feng was left with no choice. Unintentionally, he had killed 1 law master from each of the 3 crossfires. After a long time, Luo Feng stood above one of the marshes and looked afar. There it is. Luo Feng watching in silence. He saw a marsh with many lush purple vines over it. This was the Purple Vine Marsh region of Nine Smoke Marsh. A great many beast true gods and tribal true gods were entangled in various melees. A handful of true gods even charged out from the quavering swamp. Apparently, there were also melees going on beneath the marsh. It seems they are trying to minimize the number of warriors lost from their own army. Luo Feng observed. True gods from both sides are mixed around. In Xianyu Mountain's army, there are a few warriors from Nine Smoke Marsh's army and vice versa. This way, there won't be the possibility of large-scale attacks occurring. In such 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 methods of fighting, it would take a long time before any warrior was annihilated. If this was a collective form of attack, a single sweep would bring about a few annihilations, and both parties would charge into one another's camp. Then they would again be engaged in a series of melees. True gods were different from law masters to begin with. They were fewer, which was why none of the powerful groups were willing to mindlessly waste their precious supply of true god great beings. Corpses. Luo Feng looked around earnestly. Now, he was just waiting for a true god-level corpse to appear. Luo Feng hid at a spot not far from the true god-level battlefield as he waited quietly for the perfect opportunity to strike. Further off from the peripheral region of the true god-level battlefield, another troop of law masters hid in the dark. Captain, how impressive. That true god-level battlefield is so terrifying, yet you are able to seize a true god corpse so easily. Impressive. True, Captain. It seems so easy when you do it. If I were the one performing the task, I am certain I would not make it out alive. 18 law masters were hiding in a faraway spot amidst the wilderness. This was one of the troops consisting of the captain and his troop of warriors. They had been deployed here by Python River Army. The other warriors were praising their captain because, just a while ago, he had displayed his formidable ability when caught in a perilous situation. He had just seized a corpse of a Nine Smoke Marsh true god. They were praising their captain for 2 reasons. 1, they truly admired how powerful he was. 2, they held high hopes that their captain would seize more true god corpses, which would help them complete their military mission. The captain, who had been relishing in all the compliments, finally shouted an order. Enough. His warriors might not have been aware of the intense risk he had taken, but the captain was crystal clear on this fact. There can only be one. The captain's gaze swept through the troop as he spoke, and right away, several of their hopes were dashed. Previously, on the true god-level battlefield, not one of those law masters dared to get close to me. Suddenly, I appeared to seize a corpse. This was something they had not expected, and they were caught off guard. That was why I was able to make such a speedy escape. Even so, I also suffered a blow from one of the attacks. Had I been a little slower or surrounded by a few true gods? The captain shook his head as he considered the possible outcome. He had undergone many missions and had made it through every single one, even those at the reincarnation level. He knew full well that at the crucial moment, when it was time to strike, he had to take a gamble and go for it. Since he was leading a troop of warriors, at the very least, he had to obtain a corpse. He had to first be able to complete his mission before he could help his warriors. Captain. Everyone looked towards him. I won't leave you in a lurch, the captain said. If I had no intentions of helping, I would have left right away. Just wait. When the opportunity arrives, all of you just have to act according to my plan. I will do my best to help you all. Captain, just give your orders, and we will follow. Everyone might have appeared to oblige without hesitation, but in their hearts, they were worried. No matter what, the captain had already seized a true god corpse, so he had enough military credits. But there were 17 of them, which meant they would need 17 true god beast bodies from Nine Smoke Marsh's side. Having to seize 17 true god bodies, among the warriors, there were some who felt that since their captain could succeed so easily, if they were to take the risk, they might stand a chance of success, too. Earlier on, Captain made things look so easy. He caught his opponent off guard. Then, at an incomparably fast speed, he seized the corpse and then made his escape without delay. If I tried that, I might possibly succeed too. Yet, as time passed and they still had not managed to obtain a corpse, they were truly pushed to the peak of anxiety. Still, they had to go on with their current plan. The captain swept his gaze over them all. With a frown he reminded them, remember, there can only be one. The first time, you made a careless move. The next time around, you must be vigilant. Those true gods did not capture me, but they were not about to let me have my way as I pleased. You all must remember, do not take any risks. The moment someone makes a risky move, I will leave this battlefield right away. Understood. We will not act rashly. One by one, the warriors responded. The captain and his troop of warriors were waiting patiently for the right opportunity to come along. Luo Feng was also waiting. But he did not know that the captain and his warriors were also in the vicinity. After all, the captain was very experienced. Formulating plans and making decisions, he was swifter and surer, so he had reached the goal long before Luo Feng and had managed to seize a true god body first. With a single thought, a void space is formed. The entire Nine-Smoke Marsh is enshrouded by the void space. Within this area, any domain-type true treasure is rendered powerless. Even if my Wu wings were still around, their ability to control time and space would still be rendered pointless. Luo Feng understood this and was aware that, on this battlefield, only a true god of void space could reign control over the whole situation. Other true gods and law masters could only observe with their eyes and sense by using their godly powers. I can only depend on my eyes to observe and my godly power to sense. Luo Feng kept a thorough and close watch. It was as though heaven and earth had collapsed. The true god battlefield was suddenly a scene of chaos. From afar, Luo Feng kept a watchful eye over every single detail as he waited for the right opportunity to emerge. A hideous body came crashing out of the muddy marsh and flew over in an upside-down posture. Then its massive body rolled and tumbled over the ground. It seemed to have fallen into a state of unconsciousness. Shortly after, a tribal true god charged out of the marsh at lightning speed. In his hand was a strange stone rod. On one end of it, the tip was extremely sharp. Raising the stone rod high, he took aim and tossed it at the rolling, tumbling beast body. The rod instantaneously pierced the beast body. The sharp end of the stone rod pierced straight through the head of the beast body. A single stab was enough to pin the body of the rolling, tumbling beast down within the marsh. The massive body crashed down with a bang, splashing water all over the place. At the spot on the beast true god's head where the stone rod had pierced through, bouts of terrifying ripples surged from the stone rod. Ah! The true god beast let out a shout of anguish. Then its head drooped, and it lay still, in the same spot, no longer moving. Ha ha ha! The arrogant tribal true god laughed in a most uninhibited manner. 3 beast figures swept down at almost the same time. Only capable of bullying the little ones without any true god-level armor for protection. You truly deserve to die. You bastards of the Xianyu mountain, the 3 beast true gods bellowed taunts as they charged over. The tribal true god did not dare to confront them. Instead, he made a speedy retreat. This was the so-called method of preying on the weak. Out of the large number of true god beasts and tribal true gods, more than half had never joined the army before. As a result, there were many without true god-level armor. It was similar to when rampaging devil god first arrived and was met with a true god beast. He had not had any true god-level armor to protect himself. Far away. True god corpse. From the Nine-Smoke Marsh. The warriors under the captain's command were all eyeing the body. Don't take risk. I've said this before, don't take risks, said the captain. He looked around. The prestige and power that these warriors coveted could be seen in their eyes. After all, none of them had been confident enough, so they had hoped that the captain would take the field for them. But the captain was no fool. In another spot far from the true god-level battlefield, Luo Feng also kept a close watch. He saw the hideous body lying in the middle of the marsh. It was several tens of thousands of kilometers long. More than half of it was submerged beneath the water. The other parts were exposed above the surface. This true god corpse belongs to a member of the Nine-Smoke Marsh. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. His gaze swept over the positions of the other true gods on the battlefield. With his godly power, he could sense and confirm, quite accurately, the exact position of each and every one of them. Right now, they are in the midst of numerous melees, thought Luo Feng. Even if they wanted to stop me, based on the respective distance of these true gods from me, at most, 5 true gods would make it in time. And merely 5 true gods. No threat at all. In Luo Feng's mind, 8 possible routes appeared, and he immediately got moving. As he closed the distance between him and the battlefield, he continuously adjusted his route and calculating his risks based on the movements of the true gods who were engaged in a series of melees. Arriving at the danger zone soon, he thought. From now on, there is a possibility of being discovered with every passing second. The later I am discovered, the easier it will be for me to escape. Luo Feng had already charged into the terrifying, earth-shattering true god-level battlefield. Luo Feng turned to the size of a speck of dust. He was moving forward at an incredible speed among the purple vines. Though he appeared minuscule, his speed still caused ripples, and they could be found by godly power sensing. Over 10,000 true gods were fighting each other, and the ripples were chaotic. Only those close to Luo Feng could find that ripple, others couldn't notice anything. It's there. Luo Feng raced toward the body. That true god-strange beast's body lay in the giant marsh, and over half of the hundreds of thousands of kilometers-long body was covered by the marsh. As Luo Feng approached it, 3 true gods were fighting each other near it. 2 tribal true gods were encircling a strange beast true god. All 3 of them had their eyes on that tiny ripple, and they immediately knew what it was coming from. All of them saw the tiny body of Luo Feng. Law Master. A Law Master stole the body of a great being from Nine Smoke Marsh. Those body stealers must be under a military task. The task is indeed difficult, but stealing bodies of great beings from Nine Smoke Marsh is punishable by death. The true gods immediately stopped fighting each other. For a long time, Nine Smoke Marsh and Xianyu Mountain had been fighting each other. However, the battles were not just for benefits but also for training Law Masters. Weak Law Masters would utilize all their power. As for true gods and true gods of void space, they all restrained their power in battle. Weak true gods were killed every time, but as for those who had been trained in the military, they rarely died. Everyone had a consensus. However, dead bodies of true gods being stolen as trophies wasn't tolerated by those living true gods. 3 beings flew toward Luo Feng like 3 streaks of light and tried to block him. 3 beings like rainbows dashed toward a spot as tiny as a speck of dust. I've been found. Luo Feng took a look at the 3 flying streaks of light. Only 3 true gods. Nothing to worry about. 3 beings swept in. They figured there was nothing for them to hide anymore. Luo Feng's godly body expanded to 100,000 kilometers tall. The team captain and his soldiers were watching the fight among true gods carefully near the periphery of the true god level war zone. Many of them had their attention on the true god bodies of Nine Smoke Marsh. Someone tried to seize the bodies, a soldier said, transmitting his voice. The team captain and the others looked. There he is. The team captain laughed. See? This one who tried to seize the bodies was careful, yet is still being chased by 3 true gods. Why? Because I seized a body before, so now, they're more careful with it. If you go, you'll be encircled by 3 true gods as well, and if you can't get away quickly enough, there might be 5, 7, or even 10 true gods encircling you. The soldiers all felt intimidated. Let's see which arrogant guy it is. Ku Fa or Yu Luo? The team captain felt relaxed. It must be that idiot Yu Luo, said a soldier. Luo Feng's godly body suddenly expanded. It's, all of them looked at Luo Feng's face, dazed. It's the new soldier. It's Milky Way. It's that newcomer, Milky Way. He dares to snatch bodies like the captain? Everyone was bewildered. His dead meat, the captain said coldly. The captain knew exactly how terrible the situation was that this newcomer Milky Way faced. Even the captain had needed to use his most precious machine-type valuables to utilize his power. Otherwise, he couldn't have gotten away. He's dead. Let's see how he'll die. The soldiers were all watching. This new teammate was a complete stranger to them. Luo Feng's godly body bulged. One of his hands held the blade's handle while the other held the blade itself. He resisted the 3 traces of light on his side. He then dashed toward the body of the true god more quickly. Great power borrowing. He can borrow power under the attacks of true gods. No wonder he's in Python River Army. Those soldiers all nodded and complimented. The power borrowing seemed simple, but they needed to be well trained to master it. The captain nodded. That newbie is doing okay. Unfortunately, he was given a catastrophe-level task. The 3 true gods are coming, and based on the speed, that newcomer won't be able to make it to the body. They kept watching. Luo Feng raced toward the body of the true god while being followed by 3 furious true gods. He's dead. What a pity. Everyone pretended to sigh. Just when the captain opened his mouth, he was so shocked that he couldn't continue speaking. It was as if someone were choking him. All the team members looked into the distance in surprise. It was a terrific view completely beyond their imagination. Luo Feng was holding a blade, and the blade moved like a phantom. His body was strictly following the blade's movements, and the entire body turned into a phantom. Under the combined attack of the 3 true gods, that blade phantom looked blurry. They hit each other several times, and he immediately flew out from the encirclement of the 3 true gods. Luo Feng had been training in the space of inheritance for over 8 million eras, and this was one of his 2 largest gains, a close combat defense technique called flowing gold. All 18 soldiers, including the captain, watched the scene in a daze. It was unbelievable. A mere law master dad dodged an encirclement of 3 true gods. Even the captain, who had been through countless incarnation tasks, knew that he couldn't easily get away from 3 true gods. It was a terrific dodging technique. You too, tell me your names and your advantages. I am Wu He. I'm good at. Oh, I have a large enough godly body, which is over 1 million kilometers tall. I am Milky Way. I am stronger than Wu He. I'm good at close combat dodging. The stupefied captain recalled the first conversation he'd had with that newcomer Milky Way. Good at. Just good at. The captain was thrilled. I've never seen a law master so good at close combat dodging. Little did he know was that Luo Feng had the space of inheritance, which was the area of cultivation for each generation of inheritance from Duandong River. Other than the time acceleration, there was a virtual space for trials and combat. There were 282 competitors, including each generation of Duandong River. The most powerful ones were the 3 ancestral teachers. Over the past 8 million eras, Luo Feng had gained the least in blade techniques. After all, for each generation of Duandong River, only part of them created a blade technique at top-tier level 7. Luo Feng had created a blade technique at level 7, Light of Water and Fire, based on his already created blade technique Nirvana incarnation. This was only a small part of the gains he had made in the past 8 million eras. One of the 2 greatest gains was his close combat body technique, Flowing Gold. It was difficult to improve blade techniques, so Luo Feng had started to study close combat body techniques, and he often fought the competitors in the virtual space, even the 3 ancestral teachers. However, the 3 ancestral teachers could easily crush Luo Feng even if they only used the godly power of law masters. After all, the 3 ancestral teachers had such extraordinary techniques that they stood among the top beings of the ancient civilization. Under such training, he had learned from the past generations and those ingenious techniques. Thus, he had finally created Flowing Gold. Lots of great inheritance techniques, great beings from the virtual space, training, and comprehension, all these combined had led to the technique. All those 18 soldiers, including the captain, were astounded as they watched what was happening. That Milky Way had first used his incredible dodging technique to escape from the 3 true gods. Then, he had arrived beside the body of the true god, taking the body. He then had raced toward another path, his body moving like a giant blade racing forward. Even with 2 true gods trying to stop him, he still lost the 2 with his great evasion techniques. Luo Feng went inside the great vines and disappeared. Madness. It's too incredible. How can someone have such an incredible technique? All the soldiers were shocked to their core. If he's caught in a fight between 2 powers, with his evasion technique, he can survive even after all the law universes and most true gods die. Everyone was frightened, including the team captain. He had been through lots of training and various difficulties, and he thought he definitely stood among the top law masters. Even among the entire East Army, few could outmatch him. Yet he hadn't expected the existence of a law master who was so great at evading. Without machine-type valuables, I would be crushed by him if we're in a fair fight. The captain was greatly intimidated. Of course, when it comes to battle, weapons and machine-type valuables are also important. With a machine-type valuable, my power will greatly surge, so I can still suppress and even kill him. After all, Some powerful machine-type valuables could greatly improve Great Being's power. This video will end here.